Oh, how I love my ranch and my mentor dogs. These dogs met about 5 minutes ago, carefully behind a fence and whatnot, so I could take a read. But in the back is Atlas, and in the front is Cameo. Let's see if I can. That's Atlas, I think. There he is. The camera can find him. So Atlas is 8 months old. He's been here about 36 hours. He's been by himself because that's how he's used to living, but it's not how. Part of the reason he's here is so that he can learn how to be a working dog as part of a pair. He's a little insecure. This is a very big field. I brought in one of my tried and true mentor dogs. I apologize for walking with the camera, but I just can't handle the tripod camera right now. So I need to look at Atlas. So down there in the trees, I swear to you, somewhere is Cameo. Don't eat my phone. Here, what do you hear? Huh? So Cameo will pop up down there in a minute. So this field, there's 2 dogs working over there. There's a cow here. My house is up that direction. Back that way is where Atlas came from. This is a big field. There's a lot going on. He just got here, and he's been doing well, adapting well, but it's a big ask, and he's anxious, and I think having more on his brain than just standing around is going to be good for him. I also think having an adult dog in there with him whose whole body is telling him, you're safe, it's fine, let's go to work, will help him out. And that's clearly true because he's leaving me. And that's great. And he's coming back because he's worried and he doesn't know where she is. So we'll see about walking and making sure that he knows Cameo's out here. And she may not be where he feels safest because she's new to him. He's thinking, nose down, he's working, which means I've made a good choice. He's sticking close to me because that feels safer, but he's leaving and putting his nose down and working and then coming back, checking in. So he's kind of back and forth about it, which makes really good sense to me. A dog that doesn't have any self-preservation is not going to last real long as a guardian dog. So Cammy's cruising around over there on the back fence line. I'm not sure if he knows she's there. We'll see what we can do about that. How about if we go find Cameo? How about if we do that? Cameo! 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 I want you to talk to this puppy. We lost her. So Cameo's up working the fence. If I hadn't spoken, he would have kept going. Let's go see what we can find. Atlas dog. There's a couple of puppies and a Cameo. Good girl, honey. Did you find baby dogs? Cameo's a retired breeding dog who probably never would have weaned her puppies. She loves them. He's doing a good job of working, staying close to me rather than Cameo, maybe because she's moving, covering some ground faster than he's ready to. He doesn't really have any reason to have a connection to her at this point. He does to me, minimally. So he's working up the edge. There's 2 4-month-old puppies just on the other side of the fence that arrived here. I think today is day 3. So they've never been where they are either. Today's my day to just blow everybody's mind. But a day or two ago, it would have been too soon. They were too many buttons pushed for them to learn and think and be happy and curious, and not today. Today I've got lots of dog. Did you find Cameo? She's over here working. Hi, darling. You finding a lot to do? Cameo is just an excellent mentor dog. She's working, so by example, she's telling him he's safe. This is what it looks like. Good job. She's not being confrontational with him. She's letting him be kind of invisible and follow her around, or not. But she's not getting in his face about it, and he is timid enough that that would melt him right down. So it's perfect. So I don't take many chances when training if I can help it. And with these new dogs, young, old, doesn't matter, I want them to feel confident on the property. And I'm looking for body language markers to let me know what they're ready for. With this young dog, Atlas, I'm going to stay out here with him until he spends more time walking away from me than he does coming back to me. And there's a couple of things out here that may startle him that I want him to see when I'm with him. One of those things is that on the other side of that fence are a couple of 2-year-old working dogs that are just going to be really excited to meet this dog, and they may come charging up here and bark and scare the heck out of him, and they would love to meet him, but they may be kind of speedy and noisy and innocuous enough at first glance is my yard. And there is a mini Schnauzer and a mini Aussie that the second they figure out I'm out here, they'll jet out that house and run up and down the fence and shriek like little dogs do. And I've had that shrieking just blow a dog right off the bank. So this is such a shock. So I'll stay out here and make sure that he knows that the little dogs are not actually aliens from wherever. Goodness. Good boy, Atlas. Nice. Good girl, Cameo. They're snarfing at each other to see who gets to be close enough to greet the new dogs. That's what they're doing, which isn't really helpful, but that's what they're doing. And Atlas is not bouncing off the hillside. Look at that. Good boy. Gonna tuck in behind Cameo, maybe. If he was really worried, he'd run right back to my feet, which he's not doing, but he knows I'm here. Now this is looking really nice. He followed Cameo up there. There's some mud right there. She just walked over the hill. But he's not back to me. He's got his nose down and he's checking things out. His body's nice and loose. He's met the big dogs that were bounding around. The little dogs still haven't found us, but I think he'll be okay. But I have now walked around about 90% of 80% of the edges of this field with him. So he has a pretty good sense of what's here and how to get back to where he wants to be. He can't actually get back into the pen that he's been living in, but he can get back into the barn and around familiar animals. What do you think, big guy? Much happier out here working than being in the barn. He needed the smaller area and safety of a barn for a little while, but he's ready for this, clearly. It's a happy dog. Got a little tension, respiratory rate's up, his mouth wide open, it's hot, but it's not a terrified dog, and he comes and goes, walks up to me, goes away, which means that he's thinking and working and ready for this, aren't you? So I've been walking around here with a long line in my back pocket so I could collect up this dog if I needed to, if Cameo was hard on him or if he got too scared or whatever. I've got a couple of different gates I can go out of. So I have escape routes, I have an escape plan, I have the right adult dog working with him. She came up under my feet to say hi, and he came up and put a big paw on her just to say hi, and she snarfed at him big, and he backed up, and she walked off, and he walked off. And that's what I need to know, is if you guys are going to talk to each other, is it self-limiting? Is it going to scare the heck out of Atlas, or is he just going to go to work? And I think he kind of expected to be told that he was being a kid, and that was the end of it. And they walked off together, and when she walked away, he followed her. So it's all really good information for me. And Cameo isn't in this field very often, so this is a real treat for her. So she's likely to work edges and move around quite a lot. And he can choose to sleep in the shade or sleep in the mud or go on adventures, and he can come and go at his pace, which is critical to his success. Dog training is such fun. And setting it up so that most of what the dogs are learning is from each other and their environment makes me a smart trainer and a realistic one, because really all that is a lot more important to them than anything I have to say to them. So I just am the manager and set the environment up and read the dogs and make adjustments to the ask. Too much, too fast, just right, and I just keep paying attention to the dogs. So he'll spend the day out here, and then tonight everybody will go back where they normally live. He's got mud. Happy dog.